A very good morning to all the dignitaries, guests and delegates present here. I welcome you all to the 5th International Conference, AMIFOST 2022, for Food Sustainability, Challenges and Opportunities for the Future, organized by Amity Institute of Food Technology, Amity University, Uttar Pradesh. I warmly welcome Dr. Monica Thakur, Associate Professor and Convener, Amity Institute of Food Technology, Amity University, for her welcome address.
Yes, a very good morning to everyone present here. Honorable Founder present, Sir Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, respected Chief Guest Dr. Shridevi Annapurna Singh, Director CSIR, Central Food Technological Research Institute, Mysore, Karnataka. Keynote Speaker of the Day, Professor Cravato, Department of Drug Science and Technology, University of Turin, Italy. Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Balvinder Shukla Ma'am, Amity University, respected Dr. Silva Murthy, President, Amity Science and Technology Innovation Foundation, Dr. Nutan Kaushik, Director General, Amity Food and Agriculture Foundation, Amity University, Uttar Pradesh, Professor V.K. Modi, Head of the Institute, Amity Institute of Food Technology, dear colleagues and participants of AMIFOST 2022. We welcome you all to the three-day international conference, 5th AMIFOST, on the theme Food Sustainability, Challenges and Opportunities for Future. In these 3 days, 9 different technical sessions will be held along with the oral and offline and online e-poster sessions. We are honored to have highly reputed scientists, researchers, academicians all over the globe addressing the conference. Wishing you a fruitful experience. Welcome once again to the conference. Over to you, Dr. Sunail.
Thank you, ma'am. Light is a symbol of brightness and prosperity. As sunlight expels the darkness of night, similarly, blessings brings on our life prosperity and happiness. To make this morning a blessed one should evoke Goddess Saraswati by kindling the lamp of knowledge and wisdom. We will have our traditional auspicious lamp lighting ceremony as a tribute to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge. Thank you, everyone. On behalf of AIFT, I sincerely welcome our Head of Institute, Professor Dr. V.K. Modi, to kindly address the theme of the 5th International Conference on Food Sustainability, Challenges and Opportunities for the Future. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sunail. Good morning to all. Respected Founder President, Sir Dr. Ashok Chauhan ji, respected Chancellor Sir Dr. Atul Chauhan ji, Honorable Vice Chancellor Madam Professor Balvinder Shukla, today's our chief guest Dr. Sridevi Annapurna, Director CSIR Central Food Technology Research Institute, Mysore, our guest of honor, keynote speaker Professor Giancarlo Crovetto, Department of Drug Science and Technology, University of Turin, Italy, our respected President ASTIF Dr. Sulvamurthy Sir, Dr. Nutan Kaushik, Director General Food and Agriculture Foundation, my dear dignitaries on dais, distinguished guests, dear colleagues, participants, delegates, and students. It gives me an immense pleasure to be here today to address the international conference, 5th AMIFOST on food sustainability, challenges and opportunity for the future, organized by the Amity Institute of Food Technology. On behalf of AIFT, I would like to convey my highest regard to the respected founder, President Dr. Ashok Chauhan ji, respected Chancellor Sir Atul Chauhan ji, and Honorable Vice Chancellor Madam Professor Balvinder Shukla for blessing us to organize the conference. First point comes to our mind about the theme of today's conference, that is food sustainability challenges and opportunity for the future. This was chosen to encourage discussion and deliberation in order to provide solutions toward the increasing challenges faced by the food production sector. Therefore, the solution to the food sustainability, especially with respect to challenges and opportunities for the future problems, need to be designed and implemented within a new and rapidly changing environment. Further sweeping technological changes offer new opportunities for solving these problems. Now, under food sustainability, questions come to answer: why is food sustainability important? To answer this, let's try to understand what the World Food Program report says. It says that more than 1 in 9 people worldwide, or 221 million people, go hunger every day. It is a very serious problem with us. We can say hunger and malnutrition are such a widespread problem that has been emphasized that a profound change of the global food and agriculture system is needed to tackle it. This change should focus on the efforts of the sustainable production of food. For this, what key factors we should consider? The key factors here are land, energy use, global warming, hidden costs, food losses and food wastes, and above all is education. Keeping in view of the aforesaid key factors, next question before us is, can we feed the world without destroying the planet? My point of view is, by creating a sustainable food future, that is possible, but there is no silver bullet. I mean to say, it can be achieved with all our efforts combined with policies. Definitely it will result the solution. The point here is how to highlight these solutions. Now the solutions lies in 5 course menus. What I mean, the 5 ways to ensure to feed 10 billion population by 2050 without disturbing the ecosystem. Course 1, or I can say point number 1, where the reduced growth in demand for food and other agricultural products, means to explore ways to reduce this projected growth in socially and economically beneficial ways. Course 2, increased food production without expanding agricultural land. That is a very challenging job. So in addition to the demand reduction measure as addressed in point 1, we must boost the output of food on existing agriculture land. Course 3, protect and restore natural ecosystem and limit agricultural land shifting. This course focuses on the land management effort to boost agriculture yield grains, the production of natural land. Fourth point comes the increased fish supply. Fish being a quality protein source, a strong attention is required, especially for more than 3 billion people in protein source for developing country. This is the one major protein source for the developing countries. We projected fish consumption to rise 60% by 2050. This course process ways to improve fisheries management and raise the productivity and environmental performance of aquaculture. And last point, which is the what we are assuming that the course 5, reduce greenhouse gas emissions from agricultural products to control. Now, apart from aforesaid solutions, let us have a look on the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, popularly known as 17 SDGs, which proves us a blueprint for sustainable global development. SDG in this 17 SDGs, SDG 2 focuses especially on food security and nutrition, especially targeting zero hunger, achieving food security, eliminating malnutrition in all its forms, and promoting sustainable agriculture. Here, the most attraction is to discuss on zero hunger versus sustainability. According to the United Nations, zero hunger goal requires combined, consistent effort to promote health and food security through sustainability practices. And sustainable practices is done in a way that not wasteful of our natural resources without demanding to our environment of health. So in forthcoming AMIFOST sessions, now we are going to explore keeping in view food sustainability goal, why it is important to make better food production, which foods are we going to eat in the future, and how they will impact the world around us. In nutshell, and overall food demand is to increase by more than 50% to meet the food requirement for 10 billion people by 2050. This means if we don't start using resources better, we will not able to achieve what UN gave a slogan, zero hunger. It is hoped that this 3-day conference will help us to highlight the thoughts on the subject and in turn accelerate the development of food industry, keeping in view of the challenges and opportunities for the future. I'm sure that the discussion on the subject will generate new thoughts and hopeful outcome. With this, I wish all delegates a successful deliberations. Once again, I would like to convey my highest regards to the Founder President, Dr. Ashok Chauhan, Chancellor Sir Dr. Atul Chauhan, and our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Madam Professor Balvinder Shukla, for blessing us to organize this conference. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your words. I am delighted to extend my warm welcome to Professor Dr. Nutan Kaushik Ma'am, Director General, Food and Agriculture Foundation, Amity University, Uttar Pradesh. Having an extensive experience of over 27 years in research and development and over 18 years of experience in PG teaching in the field of agriculture policy, biotechnology, plant protection, natural resources, and natural product. Ma'am has successfully designed the pest management modules for rice, sugarcane, and vegetables, and productively demonstrated and validated them in the 20 villages of Haryana, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, and Karnataka. She has been actively involved in research on agricultural policy and planning. She has also developed a roadmap for agriculture in India for 2047 in Disha project. She has served as a project advisor for monitoring and advising 2 UNEP projects on climate adaptation for Bangladesh. She has handled more than 40 projects as a principal investigator, including European Union, USAID, UNEP, Indo-German, DAD, Indo-French, Indo-Australia, Indo-US, Indo-Spanish, Indo-Norway, and Indo-Tunisia. She has more than 50 publications to her credit. Ma'am, please do the honor for addressing our participants and presenters of this conference. I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sudaina. Very good morning to all of you. Respected Honorable Founder President, sir, our chief guest, Dr. Sridevi Annapurna Singh, the Professor Ganrado Gravato, or Professor Honorable Vice Chancellor Ma'am, Professor Balvinda Shukla Ma'am, Dr. Silva Moti sir, and Dr. Modi, and my colleagues and faculties, and all the dear participants. I'm really very happy to be the part of this inaugural session. I'm glad to see that this fifth edition of the AMIFOST has come up in such a beautiful way. I've seen the first AMIFOST also. It started with the half-a-day event and now converging into a 3-day event. This itself tells that how successfully this event has been emerging over the period of time. And the theme of this conference this year is also very apt. It has three keywords. If we really see, first keyword is the sustainability, which is the talk of the day. And second is focuses on the challenges. And third is opportunities. So how we tackle these three words. So let's just first focus on the sustainability itself, which is like Dr. Modi told about the sustainable development goals. So it not only talks about the sustainable development goal number 2, but food is also linked with goal number 3 and goal number 12. Okay, so goal number 2 is also the health, good health for everyone. If we do not have good food, if we do not have the nutritious food, if we do not provide the quality food, we cannot have good health. So food is directly linked with sustainable development goal number 2 in with the good health. And even the medicines, our spices serves as medicine for the good health, all the spices which we use. Then coming to the sustainable goal number 12. In sustainable goal number 12 talks about the sustainable consumption and production. So this talks about how to recycle, this talks about the circular economy, how to do not waste the things, and how to consume the byproducts which are coming from the production into conversion product. In this regard, I would like to mention that MIT University has a project with the European Union, like Dr. Modi talked about the fish as a protein source. Like 33% of the population depends on the fish as a protein source. But when we do this, when we use the fish, only the 30% of the fish is utilized as a food source. Remaining 60% is lost as a byproduct, like head and viscera, skin and bones. They are not consumed when we are consuming the fish. So we had a European Union project where we have a partner from Norway, Spain, and India. So in India, MIT University and Bich Pilani are the partner. And from Norway, we have Sintef Norway and NTNU. And then from a Spanish company, we have Carenza, where we have developed the technologies. We have already completed that project, and we are ready with the technologies which utilizes these byproducts, the 60% byproducts which are lost during this production, into food, protein, utilizable protein source. So we have developed the protein hydrolysate, and we have developed the food product out of it. So this is how we can target the sustainability goal and number 12. And then coming to this, when we talk about the production system, if we really see the greenhouse gas emission, the highest greenhouse gas emission comes from the meat sources. So the production of the meat contributes to the highest greenhouse gases. Like it is around 50 kg per kg of the food produced comes from the beef. From the lamb, it's around more than 25 kg. And if you really see the pea, the burden of the greenhouse gas emission with the pea is less than 500 gram. So that is the kind of production, like climate change resilience, which we talk about in terms of the food production. So now the entire world is talking about how to provide the protein and sources from the plant sources, so that we reduce this greenhouse gas burden during this transition from primary to tertiary protein. So now we are now working on the meat analogs using the vegetarian vegetable based proteins. So this we have recently started working with the Taiwanese Institute and PUST, and where we would like to use this plant sources into a meat analog. So this is developing into texturized meat protein sources. So likewise, there are many things which I think Dr. Modi's group is also working on a lot of all these things. So MIT is already working on this targeting the sustainable development goal. And I hope these 9 technical sessions which have bring a lot of new knowledge, bring a lot of new brainstorming and new opportunities apart. It will not only pose the challenges, but will also bring a lot of opportunities to not only to develop new products, to collaborate and develop new technologies, new projects, new publications jointly developing. So I sincerely hope that this conference will be definitely bring a lot of new what you call new ways of doing the collaboration, and you have very good speakers lined up in this over the 3 days. So I'm eagerly looking forward to listen each one of them. Thank you so much and I congratulate Dr. Modi and his team for successfully conceptualizing this conference. Thank you so much, Dr. Modi.
Thank you, ma'am, for your kind words, and thank you for taking out time and joining the session from Dubai. Now, as we move forward, it is my great honor to welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Madam Professor Dr. Balwinder Shukla, an outstanding administrator, a brilliant academician, a vivid researcher, and a feisty visionary. Ma'am has been popularly known for her multifaceted insights, humility, and leadership skills. She has over 3 decades of rich experience in industry, academia, research, and administration. She is the key architect of unique flexi framework for choice-based credit system and outcome-based education. She has been instrumental in aligning the learning outcomes and operational outcomes with strategic planning of the university. She has conducted several programs related to entrepreneurship, such as Training the Trainer, entrepreneurship awareness camps, technology entrepreneurship development programs, women entrepreneurship development programs for young students and budding entrepreneurs. She has guided several PhD and MPhil scholars, published many research papers in national and international peer-reviewed index journal, authored books, course material books, and has developed a unique accelerator model for promoting and ensuring incubator excellence. Her contributions are widely acclaimed and recognized with many prestigious awards and honors, such as Peacemaker Award, Eminent Engineer Award, Outstanding Contribution to Education Award, Women Enabler Award, Phenomenal She Award, Viskabi Rabindranath Tagore Memorial Award 2020, Excellence in Entrepreneurship Development 2021, in the recognition of outstanding contribution in the field of education, and Academic Leadership Awards 2021. I welcome you, ma'am. I request our HOI sir, Dr. V.K. Modi, to kindly welcome ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Suran. Respected Madam, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Balwinder Shukla, it gives me a great pleasure to extend a very warm welcome personally and on behalf of MIT Institute of Food Technology. I'm especially honored to welcome Professor Dr. Balwinder Shukla, Honorable Vice Chancellor, MIT University, for taking time off from her busy schedule to join this important session. Madam, your all guidance and encouragements always keep us fresh and active to do more and more. We welcome you, madam.
Thank you very much, Dr. Modi. Honorable Founder President, sir. Honorable Chancellor, or Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Sridevi Annapurna Singh, Director CSIS, Center for Technological Research Institute. Mysore, a very distinguished keynote speaker, Professor Giancarlo Travato, Department Drug Science and Technology, University of Turin, Italy. My esteemed colleagues, Dr. Kaushik, Dr. Modi, all the faculty members and distinguished speakers and participants. First of all, I, on behalf of Honorable Founder President, Honorable Chancellor, all the deans, head of institutions, and faculty colleagues, extend very warm welcome to all the distinguished guests, especially our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Sridevi Annapurna Singh ji, and our keynote speaker, Professor Giancarlo Cravato, and all the participants for International Conference on Food Sustainability Challenges and Opportunity for the Future. As we all know, the food sustainability is a very big challenge in today's environment, and number of initiatives are being taken by various countries within the to ensure that how the food is available one side to all the global citizens. At the same time, there's the least wastage of food at any stage. So therefore, the farm to fork value chain, when we look at the supply chain, when we look at the food, how at every point there's a zero wastage of food, so that we are able to, whatever is produced, that is reaches to the masses. So how the value chain, how the supply chain can be improved, and that requires that how the food can be preserved, because a lot of wastage of the food happens because the shelf life is a very low of the food, and so number of so the post harvest technologies need to be such that that once the food produce is taken from the farm, that has the shelf life has increased many folds, and the food can be preserved, and that is a nutritional value, and is the freshness can be maintained, so that the sustainable food system provides a blueprint for the current and the future generations in the sustainable global development. It embraces the interconnectedness of all the food-related activities and the environment within which these various activities of the food supply chain occur, whether it is from the production to the distribution and the consumption of food is a dynamic process involving multiple inputs, outputs, and the stakeholders. Furthermore, the sustainable food systems need to increase agriculture productivity, improve climate resilience, and reduce the greenhouse gas emissions for agriculture and related land use changes. Achieving an effective sustainable food system depends on the success of the other zero hunger elements such as zero food wastage, 100% access to the food, and increasing the smallholders the income. I'm sure this conference is going to bring the lot of new dimension into the food sustainability, where it will be addressing the various challenges and opportunities, and what the strategies are being adopted to have the sustainable food for the future. So the themes which have been chosen by the organizing teams are very apt: the climate change and sustainable food production, technologies for food safety and quality analysis, responsible consumption and sustainable diets, and sustainable green food processing technologies, and the conservation and promotion of the traditional food cultures, and the food diversity and food security, and advances in food formulation and packaging. And I'm very happy that Amity University for a right from the beginning have focused on the post-harvest technologies, and a lot of research work is being conducted by Dr. Nitin Kaushik and the faculty of Professor V.K. Modi. And a lot of we are looking at that how our honorable founder president's vision is that how do we, through research and innovation, make the huge difference in the lives of the people and make the most sustainable food value chain. And a lot of research in these areas are happening, and focus is on the research and innovation in Amity University for its innovative research have recently have got also the award for the top #1 university for filing the highest number of patents and by the Ministry of Commerce. And also that Amity has a focus that how we work very closely with the farmers, with the community, to understand their problems and accordingly find that solution. Even during the COVID time, Amity University was all the time engaged with the local farmers, the Gram Pradhans, to help them in various areas for the food production as well as for the enhancing the productivity of the agri producers. So I'm sure this conference is going to open the number of avenues for the research and collaboration, and maybe the student engagement and the student exchange. So I will be very keen to learn that Dr. Modi, that how this conference is going to bring the new collaboration, the what will be the new outcomes of this conference, and how this because I was seeing the distinguished speakers which have been invited by you are excellent from across the globe, and how this mutually beneficial relationship in the areas of academics and research and innovation can be developed, and those relationships are the sustainable relationships, so that when we meet in the next conference next year, we have a lot to speak about what all we have achieved together, and to make and bring that food sustainability as a reality, because it's a global challenge. It is not a local challenge, but it's a global challenge. That how do we, as the Indian philosophy is Vasudev Kutumbakam, how do we as one family, the word one family, work together and make a food available to everybody? With this, I once again congratulate Dr. Modi, Dr. Kaushik, and entire team of Amity Institute of Food Technology for putting in this excellent conference. And once again, I will extend a very warm welcome to our honorable chief guest, Dr. Sridevi Annapurna Singh ji. There cannot be a better chief guest than you, and I'm sure with your presence, there will be lot many, the ideas will be emerging, and a lot of avenues will also emerge for the collaboration, and we always seek your guidance, and that how we can work together and bring the innovations for making the food sustainability. With this, once again, thank you so very much, and many congratulations to Dr. Modi and his entire team.
Thank you, ma'am, for your enlightening words and gracing us with your presence. And
Yes,
thank you
Dr.
for being
Sunain.
the catalyst. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dr. Sunain, I have to make one announcement.
Yes, sir.
Very important announcement. Just I received that Dr. Nutan Kaushik just now, she spoke address to this conference. She was speaking from Dubai. She joined us from Dubai, where she has been selected to be sent by Amity University to visit Dubai Expo 2020, being an extraordinary scientific achiever. So it's a great honor to us. So let us have a clap. And second is that Dr. Selva Murthy went yesterday to Amity University, Chhattisgarh, where Her Excellence the Governor visited our Amity campus, and today now at present he is visiting our Amity International School, Raipur, Chhattisgarh, which is regarded among the best school of the country. So that is another achievement for all Amity group.
I'm thankful to Honorable Founder President for this honor. Thank you.
So Dr. Selva Murthy will be joining us a bit late in the inaugural session. Yes. Over to Sunain.
Thank you, sir. And thank you, Honorable Vice Chancellor, ma'am, for your enlightening words and gracing us with your presence. And thank you for being the catalyst that inspired us to do our best and always stand as a pillar of power. Thank you, ma'am, once again. Now, as we move forward, it is my privilege to welcome our keynote speaker, Professor Crovato, University of Turin, Italy, also Director, Department of Drug Science and Technology, President of European Society of Sonochemistry from 2012 to 2018, a pioneer name in the domain of green organic synthesis and processing. Professor Crovato has documented 480 scientific peer-reviewed papers and has more than 15,000 citations by Scopus, 21 patents, 42 book chapters, and 7 books as editor. Sir has been an editor-in-chief of Processes, MDPI Basel, associate editor of Frontiers in Chemical Engineering, and has been an editorial board member of several journals like Molecules, Green Chemistry, Green Processing and Synthesis, Ultrasonic Sonochemistry by Elsevier, Magnetochemistry, MDPI, International Journal of Green Technology, Helion, etc. He is also a member of the Conseil Scientifique ICSM France. He is a visiting scientist at First Moscow State Medical University. He is also scientific board member of Institute of Food Science Research, Spain, and scientific board member of Italian Society of Nutraceutical Formulation. It is my great honor to welcome you, sir, to the 5th AMIFOST International Conference on Food Sustainability, Challenges and Opportunities for the Future. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much for your kind introduction. I'm really pleased to be here. So I started quite early in the morning due to the difference time, but well, I'm now sharing the screen. I hope you can see everything. Could you see everything?
Yes, it's visible now.
Perfect. So thanks a lot. Again, I appreciate also this enthusiastic introduction of all the people that have, of course, a responsibility, are in charge in the organization of your wonderful, excellent university. Well, let's start with the recent advances in the industrial perspective in sustainable extraction processes. Our region, North Italy, is a region with a big tradition also for agriculture. And as I would like to show, all the production chain have to be carefully developed, starting from a smarter production. The honored colleagues started highlighting the relevance in a way of the agriculture production in a smarter way with a lower consumption of water, and all the production chain in our department. We developed a pilot scale technology platform to move from the lab scale to the industry, to reduce the gap from university to industry. For this reason, we also develop a semi-industrial processing unit in which we can provide to the industry already in relatively big scale sampling for test, for formulation, and so on. So this is what was missing in Italy in particular, this central part of the development that could join university to industry. I spent 4 years in the industry. Actually, I'm coming from the pharmaceutical industry. In the last 10, 15 years, I am much more involved in the food industry and research in this direction. For many years, extraction was considered like a secondary science, and thinking that the difficulty in efficient and selective extraction is really not a trivial task. It needs specific process, specific protocols based on the huge differences that we have from different vegetal sources. More and more, we are interested to decide the extraction of secondary metabolites we have to improve the extraction of primary metabolite. You highlighted the value of vegetal protein, and this is one of the main goals, to provide a protein at a low cost, but in a high efficient process. Well, now we have plenty of technology that can help to hydrate again the cell, the plant material, the vegetable that often are dry, with ultrasonic, with microwaves, with some mechanical turbo extractor, acting with pulsed electric fields, or helping with enzyme. So we have several opportunities, and case by case, we have to select the best protocol. As you know, the innovation process in theory is a linear path, but then when you are really moving between research center and industry, you have to be like an acrobat, because the difficulties and also some regulatory limitation create well, really a number of difficulties that require really to be determined to move on and to reach the goal. The process identification in plant extraction is now a relevant goal, considering also that if you put together chemical, pharmaceutical, and food industry for the extraction, so the impact of solvent in the environment is really huge. So more and more now we are extremely careful in the use, in the selection of greener solvent to achieve the goal with lower impact. So we have to move from vegetal material to sometime to target molecule. You can also imagine, so the relevance of plant material for the pharmaceutical industry, considering important anti-cancer drugs, they still have at least the nucleus or part or all the molecule coming from the nature. And then the industrialization require much attention to move from unit operation to a complete process that now with the new Industry 4.0 is a matter also of interconnection, higher efficiency, and in which all the equipment have to be connected, also exploiting artificial intelligence, augmented reality in a way to optimize the process with a much higher efficiency and lower energy consumption. As innovation, I'm often using as example an Italian guy that he was immigrating France, and then he developed a very efficient way, very simple tool for extraction. That is the Italian mocha to make coffee. And he was inspired by the French ancient machine for clothes washing, the lessiveuse, in which he took the inspiration to create a new way to extract the coffee. He was extremely successful because the tool was very simple, made in aluminum in origin, so very cheap, and everybody could buy one mocha pot to make coffee. Clearly, the taste is different, but the efficiency in the extraction is also totally different. Then, of course, taste and pleasure. So there are people that prefer the coffee from the very simple percolation, or, of course, with the machine in pressure to have the Italian espresso. So, well, in the last decade, many papers refer to our original paper describing the 6 principles of green extraction. I have to mention Professor Shema Farid, that is, beside to be a fantastic colleague, is also one of my best friends. And we together, we were working in this direction to design the main principle to respect the nature, but to have efficient process. In the same time, we have to see the reality. The reality is that, for instance, all the seeds, if we have to produce oil from seeds, are extracted with hexane. I would see we could have alternative. So the extraction with hexane is not really a friendly way to extract, really not a green process, but well, it's a matter of cost. The alternatives are still a bit more expensive than hexane, but we have solvent now that come from renewable sources instead of petroleum. The same still occur also in the coffee or tea decaffeination, and the use of methylene chloride for sure is not really to be further suggested, but unfortunately is still what is going on now. So this is a general view of the technology. We are fortunately dealing with all possible technologies for process intensification that we apply in extraction, but also in food processing, for instance, for the crystallization, for sugar crystallization with the sono crystallization, or to create emulsion, very stable emulsion, or to prepare micro or nanoparticles or very little droplet in stable emulsion. Well, in the bottom, you can also see some new or well-known biosolvent that can be used from nature, or subcritical water, supercritical carbon dioxide, or pressurized steam to have alternative to organic solvents. We are in the middle between food industry and the pharmaceutical industry, and due to the restriction that are dictated by the regulatory rules, often the pharmaceutical industry cannot modernize the plant. And in fact, the Wall Street Journal was writing the pharmaceutical industry lags behind potato chips and laundry detergent makers in the use of modern manufacturing systems. Why? Because if you are changing your production, your process, then you have to update your drug master files. And so the constriction, the limitation by the FDA in the United States, by the EMA in Europe, and for sure your national organization for drug production are of course creating troubles for at least additional work for updating the plant. But well, we have for sure big opportunity created by the growing convergence of food and pharmaceuticals in the new area of nutraceutical, in which secondary metabolite find a lot of space because the health is coming from food. So the good food, as mentioned before, or good extract that can provide in a little quantity also all the main component with the anti-aging activity and to provide good health with vitamin. So natural extract that could help a lot to preserve the physiological health in we all. So we start in the preparation of plant material using some like cryo grinding. So the plant could be prepared, well prepared in size for the further extraction. And I would not forget also traditional technology that in some cases still remain a good option. For instance, the old mechanical expression or seed explosion that for some oil, I remember a few years ago, and we prepare from kiwi seeds the oil, and in that case we prepare a very artisanal tool to make the separation, to enable the separation of the seeds from the pulp, and then in the end we were using this tool, really not a new technology, but well, at 100 degree in a fast process with a screw, you have in certain level of humidity, you have the seed explosion, and you can collect the oil. Of course, is for little production, but well, it's an old technology that still could have some margin of application. Well, just as I would like to mention the relevance of enzymes, because often the use of pectinase, cellulase, or hemicellulose can really enhance the process. And our experience is that this enzyme can work very well in combination with the pulsed ultrasonic. So ultrasound in pulsed mode enhance the efficiency of enzyme, and it can accelerate the extraction process and preserving the quality. We can say that we are really expert in the use of ultrasound because it's a long history. We have 25 years of use of ultrasonics. Everybody knows what means ultrasound, and that ultrasound can generate cavitation. For years, engineers were finding the cavitation because, as you can see, it can damage propeller or any other rotating unit due to implosion of bubbles. We have a number of systems for a different frequency from 20 up to 800 kilohertz. And of course, we can also measure the cavitation. So the implosion of the bubble can be very strong. So we can have very strong mechanical effect, or we can only have milder effect. It depends case by case. But you see the number. A powerful probe could be 137, and a cleaning bath in the lab is only 5.9. So the difference is huge. All these units have been increased in size and commonly used since more than 30 or 40 years in the industry in batch mode, but progressively from this unit that you can see working in the industry to improve the extraction, but of course with some limitation due to the low energy density in the bath. So the goal was to move from batch extraction to continuous flow extraction. And about 10 years ago, we developed this first unit with a multi-probe and a flow system. And then the successful result prompt the application at the industrial level. So more and more with different tools, equipment, we move to industrial application with continuous flow. The advantage is really big because working in flow mode very rapidly with the cavitation all along the axis of your probe, of your horn, you have the damage of 1,000 or million of little holes in your plant material. So the setup was moving from batch extraction to flow mode extraction. It was achieved with ultrasonics. This is what we have in our department. And then we moved to a more industrialized unit, 3 kilowatt, in which the ultrasound can, in very rapid, in very relatively short residence time in flow mode, you can proceed with the extraction and immediately to move to the decanter for solid liquid separation. Different setup for different materials. Sometimes you have to treat with ultrasound very, so like a paste or plant material that like the pulp or fruit. This is an application with the ultrasound with this very efficient unit can provide a very efficient extraction. And as you can see here, there is a flow system, a flow unit that in which all is in flow mode. So sonication and directly separation. So the ultrasound can offer really a huge opportunity. we increase our process. This is a relevant application in the production of extra virgin olive oil that in Italy, in Spain, in Greece, in Tunisia is an important production. And all was achieved with a multi-unit with the ultrasound and a pulsed electric field in the bottom. This was extremely efficient, very rapidly. The crushed olive being sonicated, and then the electroporation of the pulsed electric fields. You see, very rapid. We can reach a productivity of more than 1,000 kg per hour, up to 1,500. So there are several setups also at industrial level, and the combination of ultrasound with pulsed electric field could be also really a synergistic combination. Pulsed electric field often are used as a complementary techniques. The electroporation open the pore cell, the cells pores, and you increase then the extraction process to get from the plant the primary or secondary metabolites. And the advantage is that it can be used in flow mode, like the ultrasound, so the process is fast. You have a 30 microseconds pulse, and well, also the energy consumption is limited, and all are non-thermal treatment. A different type of cavitation or high share as a cutting, low cavitation number but high cutting effect can be provided by high share homogenizer in different setup, rotating unit that rapidly also help in the extraction. This unit can be also combined with ultrasonic, so in flow mode to have a very rapid process. You see what we have in our laboratory, a rotating unit in which the rotation generates a clouds of bubbles, again, hydrodynamic cavitation with the system with the rotating unit. The implosion of the bubble, of course, act on the surface, on the cell wall, and you open the cell and you can have in flow mode a very fast extraction process. More evolved unit now can also work in countercurrent, in which the liquid is moving in the other direction of your extracting material. And the concept is to generate high share and high cavitation stages and high turbulence. In this way, in a very short time, you can get, you can dismantle the structure of the plant material. In some cases, you have more profitable use of ultrasound, in some other of rotating system for hydrodynamic cavitation. Then even more evolved units are exploiting really a turbine, because the rotating system show before have a rotation of 3, 4, 5,000 RPM. Here we have a much faster rotating unit, really a turbine. The engine can be compared to an engine of a little aircraft. So it is much faster, but this rotating unit can provide an amazing extraction, very rapid. But well, this technology is more applied for food industry, for other application in food industry instead of extraction, also considering the cost of this plant. So the capex has a big impact. Just to mention the use of cyclodextrin, sometimes you can extract in water, but the water is not so efficient, but combining ultrasound or microwave, in particular ultrasound, and in the solution containing cyclodextrin, you can have a gas inclusion complex, and of course, it's much more efficient. Then you can spray drying and your solution, and then you get already an encapsulation, microencapsulation. See the extraction of resveratrol with the presence of beta-cyclodextrin or hydroxypropyl cyclodextrin. You have a much cleaner HPLC profile compared to the extraction with methanol. Bhutan in some way cannot be considered green, but well, you don't have traces of solvent. It's different respect to hexane. And well, it's an alternative if you have a very lipophilic substances to be extracted, because with this unit you can recover then your butane, so you don't release butane in the environment. And with this type of equipment, you can also use for non-food application perfluorohydrocarbons to extract some, I don't know, some pesticide from plant or some product that have different type of application. But butane require low pressure, a couple of bars, so very low pressure, and you can, because at 2 degree, you have the passage from liquid to gas, so it's easy to release the extract and then to condense and to recover it again. Everybody knows supercritical carbon dioxide. You can use this technology as a really green technology for extraction. Of course, is relatively expensive for the capex at the beginning, the investment but clearly it's in particular for decaffeination or to treat tea or coffee to keep out xanthines is the best method that keep out selectively only caffeine and leave in the coffee the product, the good part of the coffee that are the all the chlorogenic acids. Very simple. You have two parts of the plant, one at high pressure, normally over 90 bars, up to 500, even 800 in some peculiar extraction, and a lower pressure part in which you expand, you collect your extract, but often this is a plant that we have available, and two type of cylinder. One is with 25 liter, the other is little, but the main application we have in Italy, one of the biggest plant for coffee decaffeination, that is production of more than 32 tons of material per day in 4 cycles. So big plant, big industrial application, extremely efficient and extremely safe also for the consumers. Well, one of the limitations of CO2 is the relatively slow kinetic. So we combine ultrasound, and combining ultrasound, you can accelerate the process. This could be a big advantage. And then we move this to new setup in which we can use either supercritical or liquid CO2 combined with ultrasonics. And we prove that the extraction process is much, much faster. Few words on microwaves. Microwaves cannot be used only for heating, make no sense, but of course for extraction are extremely versatile. You have a volumetric heating and very fast heating. You can pressurize, you can collect your first extract, you can change the solvent, and you have a second extraction. And very rapid is the process to get essential oil. From lab scale to semi-industrial scale, you see different setup. Just here, we prepare the plant material, we insert in our, it's like a wash machine made by the company Milestone. It's very rapid. You can collect, you see the essential oil, the distilled water, you can exploit the plant, the content of water in the plant material. So it's very rapid. You can perform either hydrodistillation or extraction. Also, you see these are strawberry that you can extract. And but clearly, the most powerful tool now to extract like ethanol, we can skip now the use of organic solvent, because thanks to subcritical water working at the industrial level, we can have the efficient extraction of plant material, also of all the compound that would not be soluble in water, but at this temperature it is much more efficient, and you have a very fast flow from 600 to 1000 liters per hour through the basket that contain the plant. Very rapidly then the extract is, and the extraction is a critical water require less than 20 minutes, so 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then the extraction is over. These are my students, and then you can rapidly have an expansion, a multiple effect in which with the vacuum, you can rapidly drop the temperature with a flash evaporation in order to preserve the property of your extract. Often, in particular in the university, the downstream processes are not really considered too much. I would say important, like the extraction, an efficient centrifugation. We have a decanter. It's really important because all this technology enable to make a fast separation to avoid the further degradation, filtration, and then the enrichment of fraction, either by affinity with resin, as you can see here on the right, or by membrane. Membrane enable also to keep out water without heating. So ultra micro nanofiltration or reverse osmosis are available. We have here also a bigger system, bigger unit to improve the fractionation based on the molecular weight. Drying, big rotovapor or oven under vacuum, and the spray drying. Normally, we are using spray dryers in lab scale at industrial level to get the extract in powder. When we are extracting water, we can have problem of contaminations or microorganism contamination. In this way, hydrodynamic cavitation and plasma can provide a very, very intense effect. And you can have very rapidly, with only one passage, the inhibition of any kind of bacteria, so cold pasteurization. Another important application we had, I show you here the production, a big production that we have now in our region of hops for beer and for other also drinks. And very rapidly we can obtain the essential oil or the volatiles. You can see here, we also published recently the data. So 3 products obtained. On the right, the essential oil, then the distilled water, parfumate, and also the extraction in the equipment itself, because the plant is moving through some water, and that can be used directly for to be added to the beer without any infusion of hops in the beer, but is externally extracted and added. Then you can also enrich in terms of aroma, flavoring, heating the plant, and with little vacuum you can collecting water with some cooling system, because the volatile, in particular when you are pasteurizing through it, all the perfume, the flavor from the fruit or the plant are lost. So with a new system, and also this patented unit with the multiple effect, we can concentrate the volatiles and then can be again added and use it for food industry. And the intensity is impressive. In particular, you have 2 types of volatiles, the more volatile and the other that are a bit more, so we can make a separation and then eventually some blend. I conclude with the picture of our group from different nationalities. We have several different nationality from North Europe to Asia to Africa as well, and and South America, and then also what we developed in terms of technology at a bigger scale with the seafood to food. And in the end, I thank you all for the invitation, the opportunity to share some of our results and to create opportunity for good collaboration. Thanks for your kind attention.
Thank you, sir, for such an overwhelming and enlightening session and getting to know that how technology has been advancing in the food processing industry. Thank you, sir, for the session. Now, on the behalf of AIFT, I take this honor and privilege to welcome our inaugural chief guest, Dr. Sridevi Annapurna Singh Ma'am, an accomplished food technologist and active researcher. She has taken over as the director of Mysore based Research and Development Institution CSIR CFTRI in January 2021. In the career spanning of over 3 decades, she worked extensively on both basic and applied aspects of food science. She has done a significant contribution towards unfolding protein structure, function, activity, relationships, protein and enzymes as food ingredients, nutraceuticals from traditional food, and technologies for combating malnutrition. Some of these technologies that are transferred to industry include amylase-rich energy food, soy protein hydrolysate, heat-resistant sesame seeds, and supplementary food for severely malnourished children, and so on. Over 40 entrepreneurs have taken these technologies so far. During 12 5-year plan period, as principal investigator of the Food Wellness Project, an array of innovative products was brought out targeted to every section of the population. Further, in a pilot level, malnutrition intervention studies were taken during the same period with the participation of over 200 Anganwadi children to assess the efficacy of supplementary foods developed by CFTRI. She has published over 50 manuscripts in peer-reviewed journals. She holds a total of 11 patents to her credit, including 5 US patents. Dr. Sridevi has guided 6 students for doctoral thesis along with over 40 postgraduate students so far. Currently, she is focusing on alternate and unconventional sources of protein and micronutrients to combat malnutrition and development of novel food ingredients for health benefits. Ma'am has been the governing council member of National Agri-Biotechnology Institute, Mohali, member expert committee on public health and nutrition, BIS subcommittee on oils and oil seeds, interagency on micronutrients by ICMR, and board of studies of Mysore University. She is task force chairperson for FSSAI committee on Indian mithas and namkeens. She has been the life member of the major professional bodies such as Association of Food Scientists and Technologists India, Society of Biological Chemists India, Nutrition Society of India, Association of Microbiologists of India. It's an honor for us to have you, ma'am, as a chief guest in our inaugural session. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much for the kind introduction. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Honorable Founder President, Dr. Ashok Chauhan, Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Balvinder Shukla, Dr. Nutan Kaushik, Director General, Food and Agriculture Foundation, Amity University, Dr. Selvamurthy, Dr. Balvinder Shukla, guest of honor today, Professor Pravato, Dr. Modi, Dr. Monica Thakur. I hope I have not forgotten anybody else. Please forgive me. But ladies and gentlemen, and of course, my dear students, thank you for this great opportunity, for giving me the honor of being the chief guest for today's AMIFOST, the 5th one. And it is my great honor to be part of you all. Definitely, Dr. Modi has been my colleague earlier, and we have interacted a lot. And I am aware of the great work that is going on in your university. So I'll just share my screen so that I will not forget what I want to say. Food sustainability. The world is talking about food sustainability because we are the population is really increasing day by day, especially in Africa and Asia, and that gives a lot of, wherever there is a challenge, there is an opportunity. I would like to start with explaining what is a sustainable food system. It involves many sectors like production, distribution, access, consumption, as well as waste recovery. In all of this, it is aimed at giving food security as well as nutrition. This means not only economically but also socially, and whatever we do has to be friendly towards the environment so that future generations on this planet. So it has to be profitable throughout, therefore it is economically sustainable. It has to have benefits for all, which means socially it has to be sustainable. And definitely it needs to have a positive or neutral impact at least on the environment, and therefore it is environmentally sustainable. Why is this important? Currently we have nearly 8 million mouths to feed. And in that, we find more than 800 million people are undernourished. Nearly 200 people in India alone are going hungry every day. Of these, unfortunately, the brunt is borne by women and children. Anytime women are undernourished, it also follows that the children who are born to them are also undernourished. Not only they do not grow to their potential mentally, physically, and psychologically, but after a certain period of time, they could also end up with lifestyle-related diseases. So there can be a double or even a triple burden on the country for health services. So when you look at diet, especially the recent pandemic has taught us that diet and disease are very intricately associated with each other. If we have a balanced and a prudent diet, the chances are that we will lead a healthy and quality life. The same thing if the diet is improved, could end up with a disability or disease if over a long period of time we are not able to correct it. This is apart from other factors like genetics, accidents, and so on. So when you look at food, although the diet is very important for a healthy life because of the nutrition it gives, because of the busy life schedule that we are, it is very important to also consider convenience. It should not get spoiled very fast. It should be effective in terms of the taste and sensory parameters. And definitely the buzzword today is it has to be sustainable. Apart from that, food also is a very important role it is playing in health. So when you look at food production today, we find that nearly 1/3 of the food that is produced is going waste. 30% goes waste. Not only it is wasted, what happens is due to putrefaction and other factors, a huge amount of carbon dioxide equivalent is also produced. The food production does involve a lot of water consumption, and most of the precious fresh water is utilized for agricultural production. So a large amount of water as well as land is used up for agriculture. Unfortunately, 30% of this land area is wasted because of the food being wasted. And to clear this land for actually growing food, we are losing a lot of biodiversity. Also, since we are looking for those kind of strains which are able to produce more, give better yields, and are insect resistant and so on. So we are losing a lot of biodiversity as well as forest area. And we are ending up with large areas of monoculture. So if you look at the wastage alone, agricultural products wasted exceed 750 billion US dollars, which is equivalent to the GDP of Switzerland. In India alone, we see that 40% losses are due to fragmented systems and inadequate supply chain. So coming to the challenges, like Dr. Modi was saying, we do need more than 65% more food to feed the population by 2050. So currently we are already challenged with so much of wastage, so much of water usage, so much of land usage, so much of production of greenhouse gases. But apart from that, we need to produce 65% more food than what is currently required. Although, if you look at the Indian scenario, though we are among the top 3 producers of food in the world, we still have a large population of hungry people. So we need to increase productivity. We need to increase the land under cultivation crops and maybe even genetically modified crops to feed our population. Apart from all this, we require a reduction of wastage from farm to fork, which means that not only we need to devise methods of effective primary processing, but also proper storage, handling, then secondary and tertiary processing, packaging, as well as consumption at the consumer end to minimize the wastage and also to use the waste in such a way that we are able to recover certain value added in this process. So coming to nutritional security, we have all realized that there is no one crop or no one source of food required nutrients that we need on a daily basis. And therefore, we need to eat the right quality and quantity of proteins as per our age, gender, and the lifestyle that we lead. It is also important that we choose a method of processing that will ensure the retention of especially the micronutrients and water-soluble nutrients, or it will inactivate the anti-nutrients so that we are able to absorb and the nutrients in the food become more bioavailable. There are certain specific nutrients also required, which often are either limited only to the animal sources like vitamin B12 or omega-3 fatty acids. This is from the diet. Apart from that, of course, we need to exercise, we need to drink enough water and lead a stress-free life so that we are able to get healthy. So what are the challenges when it comes to the
Yes, IT support.
Since we have a network issue, just dropped out.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I seem to have lost connectivity. Am I audible now?
Yes, yes, you are audible now.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I was talking about the nutritional needs of people. It is very, very important that we have cost-effective protein sources. And also there are many people who have special needs. Maybe they have a disease, maybe they are convalescents, maybe sports persons, pregnant women, infants, all of these need specialty nutrients. And therefore they need designer foods that are specially for them. Apart from this, there are many people who have deficiencies, and therefore we need to have certain supplements which will meet their dietary needs. So not only the right quantity needs to be taken, but also the quality of the nutrients that should be eaten has to be focused upon. And for this, diversity is of utmost importance. Although this is driven by taste, convenience, and cost rather than nutrition, especially in India and many of the developing countries. So when we talk of sustainable proteins, we generally see that the green ones are all which impact the environment to a lesser extent in terms of the greenhouse gases emission as well as the cost as compared to beef and other animal products, wherein a large investment is required in terms of water and land, but the conversion of protein is lower. So although animal proteins are preferred in many of the countries, especially the West, where not too much of agriculture was grown historically, and because of the cold weather, we find that plant sources of proteins are generally more cost effective and use lesser amount of water. So this realization has shown a growth of the meat analog market, which is $1 billion market, and many of the plant proteins are being investigated very, very intensively to obtain these analogs, which will mimic meat in terms of the functional properties, that is the texture, as well as health-giving properties, because plant proteins are generally more healthier options as compared to animal proteins, since they are not associated with the unhealthy fat and cholesterol that is there in animal proteins. Yeah. In India, it is not such a big problem because most of our protein is sourced from pulses and oil seeds, and definitely plant proteins, like I said earlier, are environmentally friendly. So where is the problem? Although they are cost effective, they are available, they are environmentally friendly. What happens is most of the plant seeds from which we source our protein are rich in what we call as anti-nutrients like tannins and phytates. Many of these proteins are actually incomplete in the sense that they do not have all the essential amino acids in the right proportions that are required by the human body. Often we find that they lack lysine and tryptophan and sometimes the sulfur containing amino acids, which have to be coming from the diet. They cannot be made by our body, and our dietary protein has to have these essential amino acids. So any one source of plant protein does not provide all the protein quality that is required. Apart from the anti-nutrients that are present and being incomplete proteins, many of the plant proteins are also known to be allergens. We have heard of peanut allergy, milk allergy, and so on, even wheat allergy. So many of these sweet proteins are allergenic in properties. And definitely the functionality of the protein, the texture, the flavor, the color, all of this is influenced by protein. So it is a huge challenge if we want to mimic an animal protein by substitution of plant proteins. Of course, the highest quality proteins are eggs and milk, and then come the animal proteins as compared to plant proteins. This is because the animal has already eaten the plant protein and it has digested it and rebuilt the protein in such a way that it is very near to the requirement of the human body. And that is the reason why animal proteins have better digestibility and better quality as compared to plant proteins. So what is the way that we can address it? One is to prepare protein isolates or concentrates. We have in India especially a large number of oil seeds, and these generally after the oil is removed have greater than 50% of protein in them, that is the cake. But because the oil was there, the anti-nutrient content was lower. Once the oil is removed, even the anti-nutrients in the cake do go up. But if we can address this issue, then these concentrates can become very valuable ingredients. And that is where the concentration and isolates are exclusive protein ingredients without many of the anti-nutrients, which can become high value protein ingredients for the food industry. CFTRI has done a lot of work on protein isolates and concentrates, and definitely there is scope for future work. The reason is the yield is always lower in from when you try to remove the isolate, that is isolate the protein or make the protein concentrate. The reason is the seed is storing these proteins as a reserve material. As the sapling is growing, it breaks down the protein and then uses it as food during its growth. So generally, most of the seed proteins are very high molecular weight. They are formed as aggregates. They are present. So when you are trying to solubilize only the protein, it is a huge challenge. Often we see that we are not able to get more than 20% yield, which means that automatically from the raw material, your cost has gone up 5 times. Secondly, because the molecular weight is so high, the digestibility of the protein in our gut is also affected. They are formed as aggregates during the cooking and processing of the protein, and these aggregates are not really accessible or amenable for enzymatic digestion in the gut. So sometimes they are better digested, which is why we cook the dals. Sometimes they can become so aggregated that they may not be able to be digested. Nevertheless, protein concentrates and isolates are one way of improving the protein quality. Now, coming to other sources, if we are looking for sustainable sources, if you look at edible insects, you often find that 10 kgs of feed will give you almost 9 kgs of insect protein. This is in comparison to beef, which is only about 1 kg. So the efficiency of conversion of feed to protein is very high in case of insects. Nevertheless, many cultures, including in India, probably it is not acceptable except in the northeast. But they grow faster and the conversion is higher and they require lesser amount of water as well as land. Another source is algal sources as well as seaweeds. We have a huge coastline in India itself, and definitely oceans are much deeper and better resources as compared to land on our planet. So seaweeds and spirulina are also being researched by many countries to see how they can be alternate sources of food. One such algal source is spirulina, which has already been accepted as a food source. It is almost 70% is protein. Apart from that, this algae especially is a very big source of most of the micronutrients like B12, beta carotene and other minerals also, which means that the hidden hunger which is there in India, which is due to micronutrient deficiencies, can also be addressed if we look at algal sources. CFTRI has worked and developed a large number of technologies from spirulina, especially the products which have also been licensed, and there is further scope for work on many of these algae. Not only the nutrition, but these algae are also having a lot of bioactives which can improve the health of an individual. So one concept is that we should always eat local foods, because the longer the food travels to your plate, it means that it is causing more environmental problem. So locally sourced foods are very environmentally friendly as compared to foods that travel a large distance, because they are the sources of greenhouse gases. And you find that meat products as well as dairy products are higher on this list in the production of greenhouse gases. So the choice of foods with fewer food miles can help to reduce pollution and protect our planet. So the local foods in India, if you look, traditionally we had been eating a lot of millets, and these are crops that have higher amount of essential amino acids. They have a higher amount of protein, also many minerals like iron, zinc and calcium, because they are not highly polished, unlike rice, for example. and therefore they can be sourced as food. And interestingly, these are the last standing crops during drought conditions. They are climate smart crops. Therefore, they have a lower carbon footprint. They are high temperature tolerant. They need smaller amounts of water to grow. They can be used as food, feed, or fodder. And the remnants after the grain is harvested can go as biofuel too. There has been a long history of consumption of these grains. They are also gluten-free. A large population, 1 in 100, in fact, is thought to be susceptible to gluten intolerance or even having celiac disease. They are low in GI because the carbohydrate that is present in these grains is more complex, and therefore it is digested slowly, and therefore there is better satiety for the consumer, as well as hunger is lower. These grains also have high fiber, and they are useful in weight management, and therefore they are probably the next superfoods. Definitely in India, there is a huge population which is susceptible to non-communicable diseases. It is thought that 1 in 4 Indians is going to be diabetic. We are the world leader of cardiovascular disease. So we do need menu diversity to know what we should be eating and how much to be eating, so that we can lead a healthier life and not become a part of the health burden on the country. So 2023 has been declared the year of millets, the International Year of Millets by UN on the advice of the Government of India. And these ancient grains are today also called nutri-cereals. And apart from all the nutritional nutrition that they offer, they also have a large number of health benefits in aiding weight loss, and because they're gluten-free, they can be taken by everybody. However, what are the challenges is that they are available in certain regions. So their availability in large scale can be a problem. Further, there is lack of specific machinery for processing. Right now, the machines that are available for rice or wheat are being adapted in some way to process these grains. But to improve the efficiency and to get better quality flour or even the grains, we do need specific machinery. These grains have a lipase that is there in them especially, and that can lead to rancidity and therefore affects the stability on the shelf. So we need technologies that can remove the lipase or at least inactivate it, so that it can be shelf stable and therefore it can be exported. And India is actually the world leader in production of millets. 40% of the world production is from India. So there is a huge export market if we are able to stabilize the grains or even the flour. So because these grains are having higher fiber content, traditionally we have been germinating them, removing the fiber portion and giving it as infant foods. We should continue these traditional kind of processing in large scale, because if there is higher fiber that is given to children, then they can hinder absorption of essential nutrients that are required by children and infants who are in the active growing phase. There are many millets which are there in our country. We are not really certain about the nutritive value, especially the effect of processing. So there is scope for work in this too. And definitely, once we are done with all of these, there is a large amount of scope to develop convenience products. While we do see them on the supermarket shelves, they are very limited in quantity and do not have the required shelf life. So there is a requirement for uniformity of the quality that is being produced. Already enzymes as processing aids has been spoken by the guest of honor. Here I am limiting it to the production of geriatric foods and medical foods. Specifically, the elderly population do not produce sufficient amount of enzyme in the gut to actually digest proteins, or sometimes they may not have sufficient amount of acid, and therefore the pepsin is not active in the stomach. Either way, the digestion of protein is compromised. Nevertheless, they do require proteins, and this is a huge market, again a multi-billion-dollar market. So one way is if we can make protein hydrolysates, which are externally hydrolyzed, and these can become very good ingredients for going into the manufacture of processed foods, which can readily be absorbed by the body, which will have better digestibility, better solubility. Some of the peptides that are released during this hydrolysis also have certain health benefits, and therefore they can be nutraceuticals. Many times hydrolysis in a limited manner is found to improve the functionality of in the food that they are there. It could be that they are improving the texture, the flavor, and so on. And for this, again, plant proteins are the right choice because they are very cost effective, and they are available in a larger extent. So they find applications in targeted population foods like infant nutrition, sports nutrition, or enteric nutrition. All of these are $1 billion or a multi-million-dollar market, and they are growing at a very high pace, either doubling or at least 20% growth on an annual basis we are seeing. Coming to the byproducts, once the protein is removed, we do have certain leftover. These could be the fiber, or it could be minor value-added products that are there, which were thought to not have any nutritional value. But today we know that they are having a health value to them, and that is why we call them as nutraceuticals, because they are obtained from the food, and therefore nutra, they have a health benefit, therefore pharmaceutical. So these nutraceuticals have a physiological benefit and protect against chronic disease. We have been very well seeing this during this current pandemic. And the foods that have these nutraceuticals are called the functional foods. So food functionality, wherein the protein plays a role in maybe the emulsifying capacity, the foaming capacity, is called functionality. But these functional foods are foods which carry nutraceuticals that give a health benefit beyond basic nutrition. So how do they protect us? They could be antioxidant, they could increase your immune response, and so on. Or they could dilate the blood vessels and therefore bring down the blood pressure. Or they could have an antimicrobial effect. They could modulate your enzyme activity. Sometimes it is not good to have too much enzyme activity. Sometimes you require higher amount of activity. So either way, these can help. Many times we have seen some of these small molecules that are there in plant foods especially are shown to increase the insulin sensitivity, and therefore they could be helpful in controlling or managing diabetes, or they could be decreasing the addition of pathogenic bacteria, which means that they are protecting against disease. So the opportunity is that India is a powerhouse, and it is having traditional knowledge, especially Ayurveda or other sources. We have a huge amount of data that is there. Only thing is we need to actually scientifically validate our knowledge. Then we can have a global market. Nevertheless, we have a huge market, again a multi-billion-dollar market, which is estimated to go up threefold very soon, and it is growing at 18%. So if we can harness our knowledge, scientifically validated, we will be opening up a huge export-oriented market too. And the consumer too is now well aware that they do not want the side effect of drugs, and therefore they are looking more and more towards food to give them the health benefits. The guest of honor has spoken at large on green extraction technology, so I will not really speak about that. And then, like I said earlier, there are about 200 million people who are going hungry. So can we really fortify their food so that we are able to give them the required RDA of nutrients? So one way is there is the food processing industry, especially the fruits and vegetables. You find that there is a lot of wastage. It could be the peel, it could be the seed, it could be the core, and so on. But these are actually having a large number of these biomolecules as well as micronutrients which can be recovered instead of wasting these and allowing environmental pollution. So if we can actually harness the natural bioactives or the micronutrients, then we can have natural molecules which can be incorporated into foods, be it by 3D printing or by other methods, and fortify these foods. For adults, it could be bioactives. For children, it could be the nutrients. Again, the guest of honor has spoken at length on non-thermal technologies. Definitely, these technologies are helping us to retain many of the micronutrients that are susceptible to heat, and therefore they are better. The opportunity is that because they are non-thermal, it is likely that the yield and recovery are little bit compromised, and therefore we need to work further to understand how we can make it more cost effective at this point in time. We have slowly realized that we need to go towards personalized nutrition. No longer one food fits all, as has been the mantra all these centuries of human living. But today we realize that each person is different, and based on the genotype, based on the phenotype, and based on the dietary intake, the diet has to be actually designed on a personal level, and there that
Madam, your voice is not there. Hello. वो रोक नहीं है।
I think connection should
I
have.
think connection is lost somewhere.
हम्म
IT department.
मैम का ही कनेक्शन गया है.
Sir, ma'am connection.
am I audible?
Dr. Monica, I think the connection is lost.
Sir, ma'am is back in the session. Hanji, yes, Shridevi ma'am, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was talking about packaging. So more and more consumers are wanting smart packaging. The consumer does not want to buy the food, open it at home, and then find that it is gone spoiled. Often it is required that at the shop itself, we should know whether it is spoiled or it is healthy or it is being thawed if it is a frozen food and refrozen. Similarly, edible cutlery is also becoming the talk of the food industry. How do we get rid of all this waste? So we are talking about modified atmospheric packaging because we don't want spoilage due to, but at the same time, we don't want chemicals in our food. So whether we are able to get intelligent packaging where we know at the shop itself that it is spoiled or it is good, smart packaging, and so on. All of these are being very actively researched in our institute as well as everywhere in the world. So I come to the summary where we have to think of integrated processing, at the same time not compromising on the nutrition or food security, understanding better processing methods so that we are able to retain the nutrients, menu diversity, circular economy, as well as personalized nutrition based on the lifestyle, genetics, health status, and the phenotype that we are looking at, so that we can ensure better food sustainability. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for such an enlightening session and letting us know that how traditional foods have been coming up and they have been doing good in the field of food processing. Now, I would like to welcome Dr. Silvamurthy Sir, President, Amity Science, Technology and Innovation Foundation and Chancellor of Amity University, Chhattisgarh. Sir has been promoting and coordinating research and innovation in all Amity institutions. Presently,
Thank you, Manta. Thank you so much. Honorable Founder President, Dr. Ashok Chauhan ji. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was just reading
Can
your.
you hear me?
Yes, sir.
He's
First of
traveling.
all, I want to Founder President for your gracious participation right from the beginning, sir. And also, I was listening to Dr. Sridevi Annapurna ji, and it was a great learning for me from all that what you mentioned, and the great job you are doing for the country in the food technology domain. You are a giant in the global level, not only at the national level. So we are so proud of you, and India is proud to have such great leaders in science and technology, particularly in food technology. You are the topmost scientists in the country today. So we are very proud, and I'm also glad to tell you that with the blessings of Founder President, we have an MOU with CFTRI, with your institution, as well as with CSIR. So this we would like to contribute to your mission in a big way, and certainly this your presence here is reassuring us that our collaboration, we will certainly take it forward. I must also compliment Professor Giancarlo Cravato, the guest of honor, for giving various food technologies which is available today globally, which India can adopt, the frugal ones, the cost-effective solutions. Dr. Modi, great appreciation. You have, even at this time, 250 people attending this. That itself shows your charisma and the value you have brought to all the participants. So my compliments to you, Dr. Monica, and the whole team, and also Dr. Nutan Kaushik, our DG, Amity Food and Agricultural Foundation. I would like to give only a brief message. The first thing is the country has reached, India as a country, we have reached top 5 in agricultural produce. Milk, number 1. And if you take cereals, pulses, vegetables, egg, fish, you name anything, we are in the top 5. So a country which was a begging bowl at the time of independence, Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav, that is 75 years of independence, we have become a bread basket, from a begging bowl to bread basket. This is because of the research, innovation, science, technology application in the agriculture and food sector. So we need to build, when we reach 100 years, we should be top leader in food technology. So how do we do that? That is why this theme AMIFOST, which Dr. Modi and the team of our Amity Institute of Food Technology, they are regularly holding this only to bring this re-awareness, because we have to feed 7 billion people, not 1.38. So India should look at how do we also help to give food to other countries. And in this, we are looking at frugal technologies. Amity has focused, one, to improve productivity. Madam Sridevi just now mentioned, Dr. Annapurna ji, you mentioned about productivity. Amity is using microbial technology like Rutonics, Piriforma spora indica, to improve the per capita productivity. Then we have also improved the biofortification, because some of our soil is very deficit in zinc. So we are doing a foliage biofortification to give zinc to the plant, because zinc is a coenzyme in all our metabolic pathways. So knowing this, Amity has initiated this biofortification program so that food is health, food is medicine. So we are giving that aspect in Amity, that we are able to give this. Then the other focus where Amity has an international center is post-harvest. You rightly brought out, Dr. Sri, the chief guest today, Dr. Sri Devi ji, that we are losing almost 20 to 30, sometimes 35% food which we produce, we lose because of the post-harvest management is not adequate. So Amity University has focused on this, the post-harvest management, zero energy cooling chamber, AmiCool. Then we are also having the MS1. These are reversible blocking agent for ethylene receptors. So, and then we are looking at biofilm for making the film to shield the vegetables and fruits to delay the spoilage. So these type of technologies we are developing for post-harvest. This is one important thing. Then we are looking at also the nutraceuticals, which you also mentioned, that we have a very strong group in nutraceutical, because instead of giving pharmaceuticals, we can give the food materials as the medicine. So we have focused, Dr. Dan Prakash group is working in Amity University on the nutraceuticals. Then we're also focusing on food safety is very important. Food standards is important. Food safety is important. Yeah,
तो
yeah.
एड्रेस करेंगे तो मैडम को जरा रिमाइंड करा दो थोड़ा सा कि अगर ज्वाइन कर सकेंगे तो उस टाइम पे टाइम.
Thank you. So then the other important thing where Amity is working on packaging, because you mentioned about packaging. We have developed two packaging, biodegradable packaging, which is very, very important so that it doesn't affect the environment. The plastics, polyethylene, which we use, affect the environment. So Amity University has come up with a very cost-effective, very efficient biodegradable plastic, which we are negotiating with an American company for the technology transfer in addition to the Indian company. So these are some initiatives, and I'm sure with this MOU which we have with the CFTRI and CSIR, we will do many, many contributions in the area of food security, food safety, food standards, and food technology. Finally, the Atmanirbhar Bharat, our Honorable Prime Minister keeps talking about, and he is pushing, promoting, propagating the self-reliance in technology, including food technology. So all of us should take a resolution that whomsoever is the food technology, food scientists who are associated with food productivity, post-harvest management, and also food processing technology should make a resolution. We'll bring cost-effective solutions, even for the people at the bottom of the pyramid, to have an affordable technology. So with this, once again, thank you, Dr. Modi, and compliments, congratulations to you for the wonderful work that you are doing in Amity University. With your rich experience in CFTRI, we are expecting a lot more exciting things, the best of the things to come from Modi and your team, CFT, our Amity Institute of Food Technology. And best wishes to you and to your team. Thank you, Founder President, for this opportunity.
Murthy, please tell in
Yes,
2
sir.
minutes the governor's visit yesterday at Amity University, Chhattisgarh, and
Yes.
about your school, Amity School, which are coming now, just in 2 minutes, because
Yes.
our chief guest should know that where you are. It is
Yes.
only Amity. Yesterday
Yes.
he received the governor, today he visited the Amity Inter School, Raipur. Just 2 minutes, tell your.
I want to tell all the participants with all humility that Founder President today, he has brought a revolution in our education, research, innovation in the country. So he has established a university, Amity University, Chhattisgarh, which is in Raipur. This is the first university which Founder President established. So he has a level affection, and this university is coming very fast. Yesterday, we had the visit of our visitor, who is Governor of Chhattisgarh. Her name is Her Excellency Miss Anusuya Oike. So this is the governor's name, and she is a very prominent socialist and activist, as well as who has looked at the downtrodden peoples, SC, ST, and Dalits, and weaker section of the society. She is trying to develop, and also tribal development, rural development. So she visited and spent almost 2.5 hours. Initially, she planned 1.5 hours. and she was able to see the exciting work, tribal development work, which Amity University Chhattisgarh is doing. So she spent and also she gave a message, and founder president has announced the establishment of Amity Center for Rural Development in the Amity University Chhattisgarh campus. She has already established a tribal development center, but then is a new center yesterday announced by founder president is this center. And just now I'm coming from Amity International School. Here in Raipur, we have an Amity International School, and here we have just started 2 years ago, and now it has started functioning, and we have brilliant toddlers, and also up to 9th standard, we are operational now. I met the brilliant, dedicated, devoted teachers, and all these campuses, we are promoting research innovation, because for Dr. Ashok Chauhan, the founder president, innovation is his life, is his breath. So thank you, founder president, and to make India Atmanirbhar Bharat, under your able leadership, Amity will contribute with the help of all those who are here in this meeting, 250 scientists, faculties, researchers, and particularly the chief guest, Dr. Sridevi Annapurna. Annapurna means a god who gives food, Annapurna. So she is heading this very important institute of the CFTRI. And thank you, madam, for gracing the occasion. And thank you, founder president.
Very right. You have rightly told to all my listeners, as Dr. Srimurthy told, Sridevi Annapurna, I saw at the Google, it really stated Annapurna is derived from Sanskrit meaning the giver of food and nourishment. Giver of food and nourishment. In Hindi, they say, Annapurna naam ka arth Devi Parvati, भोजन के साथ उदार अनाज की देवी को होता है. Dr. Srimurthy, I would request Dr. Annapurna to give me the opportunity, if possible, to touch the feet of her parents. They gave her that time this name, and which she is realizing now day and night. I think what a great consequence. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, madam, I will request you, if I can online touch the feet of your parents and tell them what wonder they have done when you born. How can you believe Nutan Kaushik is in Dubai? Nutan Kaushik, you are hearing?
Yes, sir. Thank you,
The
sir.
person was born, and secondly, Dr. Murthy, another wonder of my students. She did in 1988 MSc from TFRI, and now she's sitting as a director of it. You know, my dear student, one can achieve everything in life. And she's a great protein specialist. And when she told about millet, that #1 in India, whichever is #1 in India, I get so overjoyed. And I knew that last time also I heard her. And this is really great, Dr. Annapurna ji, that you have come. Dr. You should listen. Very soon I will have a one-day conference inviting the Niti Aayog people, inviting the minister, the secretary, and scientist, and Dr. Annapurna ji, because I tell you why. Yesterday, I could not take my dinner. So I worked till 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. I was very hungry. So always they keep bananas near my bed. So I ate 3 bananas. So I was thinking, can India produce cheap vegetable and fruits? That will solve the problem. I'll talk to Dr. Modi and his team, that there are so many watermelon and all, there are so many things which can be produced cheaper on a grand basis all over the world, maybe sometime in also non-fertile land also. So that is a topic. Secondly, one question also with Dr. Annapurna ji, you told that the plant protein, there is animal protein is better because animal eats plant. So now, is the protein for animals those who do not eat the plants? There are many animals, those who don't eat the plant. Is that protein also? Because I am very particular about your answer, because I am a favorer of vegetarian. So you know that the protein for animals is better. So, madam, for example, pig. I think pig doesn't eat plants. So is his protein also better than the plant protein? Nutan Kaushik, you will also next week when you're back from Dubai reply. So, madam Annapurna ji.
Actually, plant proteins are made for the seed. to grow into a new plant. So they have higher molecular weight, and there are a lot of anti-nutrients in the seed which prevent insects, humans, animals from eating it, so that the plant will have a chance to grow. Now coming to the carnivores, they have eaten also another animal, a herbivore, which has rebuilt the plant protein to suit its own need. So that is also easily digestible by the carnivore. So traditionally, vegetarians have evolved a system where we mix up a lot of plant proteins and eat them. Like we mix rice and dal. So thereby, wherever we have a deficiency of some of the essential amino acids, they are made up by the other source. So morning we eat one kind of dal, evening we eat one kind of dal, maybe for breakfast we eat another kind, we drink milk. So by taking a mixture, we are able to meet the deficiencies. The problem comes when we are eating only one kind of protein source, like only tur dal. In South India, mostly we eat tur dal. So morning, afternoon, evening, night, you eat only tur dal. Whatever is lacking there, it continues.
Yes.
So,
Great. Wonderful. So that's what we'll have a one-day plan. Also, we invite Dr. Gianco Caravato from Turin, because he speaks very well. And then Madam spoke a lot about the millet, that we are the biggest exporter in the whole world. So I think, Dr. Murthy, there is a lot to be thought, considered, and brought before the government, ministries, and we can be the leader in that. Because, my dear student, you know that Dr. V.K. Modi, I brought from CFTRI. He was 40 years there. Am I right, Dr. Modi? It is 40 or less years, I don't know. So
32 years, sir. 32 years I was in CFTRI.
So I think take a group of 20-25 students, researchers to Dr. Annapurna ji and show them CFTRI. Under her guidance, I've heard it has a total sea change. It is very much research oriented now. So I would say that take about 25 persons after permission to CFTRI Mysore, and there they should learn and see. And Dr. Annapurna ji, I was so busy in other two. My students are getting award in the Vigyan Bhavan from President and Minister. So, but when I heard that you are coming, I told to my people, no, that award I can see later, but I want to listen, Annapurna ji, because I have regard for ministers or all, but I have highest regard for the most competent, scientific, innovative person like you. So I left everything. Nutan Kaushik ji, 1.5 minutes about your Dubai, Expo Dubai, before I speak.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm really grateful to you. This expo is really wonderful. It has 3 components. One focuses on sustainability, another component focus on mobility, and third focuses on opportunities. So it's such a big, like every pavilion is an eye opener, and they are focusing like we could not even cover the sustainability, even 1/3 of it. So it's really great. And yesterday we were in the Spanish pavilion, and then Madam talked about the algae. And algae was one of the technologies which they proposed as a climate change tackler and providing the future food. They are providing, not only providing the future food, but also tackling the climate change by mitigating the greenhouse gases, the sea algae particularly, not the freshwater algae. So, and there were a lot of things which we could learn. And in opportunities section, there are a lot of things which we can learn from this one. And I also saw the sustainability city also, which is there in the Dubai. And I was glad to see the new house which has been constructed by Amity Dubai. Actually, they have constructed a sustainable house where they are doing the aquaponic and also growing this hydroponic plants in the same house. For the production, it's a 90 square meter house. Having everything together, sir.
When you are back, we'll have a half-a-day program. Dr. Srideviji, I have sent 21 extraordinary achiever scientists. She's one of them. So they are there. Then when they come as a trigger rider, they will tell to us. This is a huge expo finishing on 31st. So they have gone. They have seen everything, because I want, as you have also told, Madam also told about algae. Because algae has a great scope. So I want that my Indian brains, For example, Dr. Modi, we are having our very brilliant faculty attending it. Dr. Neha is there, Neha Sharma, Dr. Renu Deepak Tupar is there, Dr. Monica Thakur is there, Alok Saxena is there, and my brilliant student attending 11 programs, Dr. Giancarlo, 11 programs are being offered here. So I think, Dr. Murthy, we will request Dr. Sridevi ji to accept our honor of honorary professorship from MIT University, because
Madam, kindly accept this. It will be a great honor for
let
MIT.
it take time. Let it take time. You write her. You write her, because मैं हिंदी में बोलूं तो वो कॉम्पिटेंट है, विजनरी है, इनोवेटर है, पर भयंकर है, भयंकर इनोवेटर. I am sorry for this desi word, but I can't stop me. I'm so happy that Dr. Giancarlo, I have been 15-20 times in Turin. I had very big customers. This is a very big industrial area, Turin. You will know it. And they were using my products of petrochemical. 20 times I have been to Turin. So Turin is a flavor of innovation and production. So to my students, I think my dear students, today's program is something unbelievably useful for you, because food, and you have been speaking about sustainable goal. Modi ji spoke also, and Madam Sridevi ji also spoke. We should, MIT is attending almost all sustainable goals, because that is my mission, to make India a global superpower. So my dear students, today what you heard, food is of essential. As Dr. Modi told that 1 out of 9 is in the world hungry. More than 200 million plus are going to bed hungry. So I think we from MIT can be #1 in solving all these problems, because we have Zanul, we have pain, we have possession, I have the facilities abroad. And I think, Dr. Modi, in our New York research hub and Dubai, because scientists may be able to come, we should make a center for sustainability, what they have seen in Dubai Expo, because the sustainability, following the sustainable goal, and especially you see Africa, how many people are sleeping hungry. I think that we have to drastically change, and we can do it. Dr. Modi, am I right? MIT can only do as a private player.
Absolutely, we will do it, sir. Under your leadership and commitment, we will certainly do it.
Right. So, Sridevi, I have no words to appreciate our Giancarlo, also great. And VK Modi, my compliment to you all, to my students. In a big number, they are looking. And I will address them sometime again for one day. We will make a road plan. And then I'll call the minister, I'll call from Niti Aayog and everybody, so that they listen us. And then we'll put a paper before them, and then take a team of 25 to CFTRI. You also go and lead them. The brilliant scientist, Nutan Kaushik, will also go, and your faculty, so that under her brilliant environment there, my scientists and researchers take also Ramlingan Swami. You have got fellows with you in your food technology? Ramlingan. Yeah. Monica Thakur, how many fellows are with you? Ramlingan Swami, Ramanujam, DST, Inspire. Have you?
Fellows there with our institute, sir.
Very good. I think the more take them more, and because this is the area which everybody interests, who is for the people, who is for the humanity, as Dr. Sridevi ji told. I think these are the topics which we can address from all different institutions. We have all, some people say, Dr. Murthy, that MIT is already a small government. I got everything. I got law, economics, finance, business, political science, everything. So I think all Sridevi, great thanks to you that you came. You have motivated us, you have inspired us, and you have stimulated our brain. VK Modi, I'm right here. VK Modi, am I telling too much or is correct?
No, sir, correct, very much correct.
Thank you so much for your kind words, and I do salute your vision. I'm sure under your leadership, MIT will break new grounds, as I've been hearing, in new places also, which is very much required. Actually, education has to go hand in hand with entrepreneurship and all other goals to make India the superpower and get the rightful place. Definitely, we will welcome the team when they come to CFTRI, and together I think we will make better progress than do it alone. So,
Right. Right.
This is what our Chancellor says, Dr. Sridevi ji. Together, we will change the world. Together, we will make a difference in the world. Thank
Dr.
you.
Modi, how far is Mysore and Bangalore?
Sir, 139 kilometers, sir, 140 kilometers.
Madam, very soon, next year, my university is coming.
oh,
Yes.
Oh, great, sir.
Synergy. My people can go there and they can come to this.
Sir, it is a great news.
Huge
Great news for
in
us.
Bangalore, and it would have started this year because of COVID. The construction could not be completed, but now the government is asking me, Chauhan Sahab, kab aa rahe ho? So Asim is looking after it. So in Karnataka will be the 12th university. So very
Yeah,
near
12th university.
12th
Madam, this is just behind the new airport, 7 kilometers on the Hyderabad road. It's a beautiful campus, 100-acre campus is coming up.
Right. Good. So that is okay. Dr. Vikamadi, can you give two students hurriedly some opportunity to ask questions? Two students, because madam may be in hurry, so that just two students, she looks the brilliance of my students. Any two students, tell their name and put two questions.
IT can help to unmute them.
Right. Or even faculty, those who are on panel, they can ask even those faculty who are already in panel.
Dr. Modi, coordinate please, fast.
Yes, sir. Yes, Dr. Monica.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Monica, Dr.
Yes,
Neha.
sir. Ma'am, there is a very small question for you. Means, what is the use of protein hydrolysate for the lactating women or lactating mothers? Can we use them there? Yes.
protein hydrolysates have better solubility and they're also better digestible. Immediately they can. So if somebody is having compromised digestion, then it will be useful. So if somebody is severely undernourished and they're not able to digest the protein that is given normally, then you can use a protein hydrolysate. Including for lactating mothers, it will be faster absorbed and faster utilized.
Because we have one project sanctioned by DST, so that is for the production of some nutrimix for the lactating women. So we'll try the protein hydrolysate for the lactating women only. So we'll take your guidance.
One thing is that protein hydrolysates, if they are extensively hydrolyzed, they can become bitter. So you have to be careful which enzyme you are using, how long you are hydrolyzing, all of that. You need to optimize that.
Thank you, sir.
Don't forget the sensory and shelf life studies also. Often when only the hydrolysate is there, it may taste good. But when you put it into a fruit juice or maybe even milk, it may change its taste. So everything parallelly you'll have to look at. Don't go one step at a time. You would be wasting your time in the research because at the end it would fail. So please do simultaneously.
Madam Sridevi, please visit our campus in Amit University, Noida. Whenever you are in Delhi next time, please keep for 2 hours for us. I will come and receive you, take you wherever you are and show you around what we are doing. Please visit us.
Sure.
Very important to get her advice and guidance. It's absolutely important. So,
ma'am, Sridevi ma'am, there is one question. Ma'am, can we make use of soya bean in the food specially prepared for lactating mothers? Because soya bean is an allergen. So, can we make use of soya bean?
So allergenicity is dependent on the individual.
Yeah.
There is no general rule.
Yeah.
So most of the lactating mothers in India at least get their protein sources from seeds only.
Yeah.
Soya bean has around 50% protein if the oil is removed. Otherwise 40% protein is there. So compared to other seeds, it has higher amount of protein.
Yes.
Having 20% oil, which is a very good quality oil. It even has omega-3, which plant sources are generally not having omega-3 fatty acids. But soybean is having. But because of its richness, it is also having higher amount of anti-nutrients in it.
Yes.
Depending on the individual, if they are able to digest, if they do not have allergenic reaction, there is no issue. Soya proteins are also associated with minor ingredients called isoflavones.
Yeah.
Some of these are known to have health benefits, but there are also reports only. They are not scientifically validated, but there are some reports, but especially in girls, puberty sets in faster. So for lactating mothers, if you are looking, I do not see why you cannot use soya.
Thank you, ma'am.
Dr. Modi,
Yes, sir.
Dr. Giancarlo for physical visit sometime to our campus and
Yes,
try
sir.
to make a MOU with University of Turin.
Sure,
Because
sir.
I heard his lecture is also greatly very worthy person. So we should, whenever we see a worthy person, we should have a synergy of brains, connect and outcome. I think with that we can change the world. And Indian brain, you know it, the best brain in the world. So I think Dr. Murthy, MOU with University of Turin, and Dr. Giancarlo will be facilitating this so that we have permanent connection with them. So thank you very much. I think now I leave upon the organizer to go ahead.
Sir, it's our highest regard to the founder president, sir, Dr. Ashok Chauhan, Chancellor of the university, for blessing us to organize this conference. With your all guidance, sir, we are here, and we will work more and more with your encouragement. Always keeps us fresh and active to do more and more. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Modi, मुझे
Yes, sir.
लोग कहते हैं अभी तो party. People say अभी तो party शुरू हुई है, because now you have to give me 21 points. What you are, I will give you what after today's. Dr. Sridevi ji has spent a valuable time. And Cardo has spent. They are so busy, but we should utilize that, making a 21 action plan with the time frame and who will do it, because I believe MIT can change the world of sustainable goals, not only India and globally. Dr. Murthy, you say yes or no, sir?
I absolutely agree with you. We will, Dr. Modi, quickly make those points, actionable points with timelines and responsible person for each point.
Sure, sir. We'll make it, sir.
Great. So that
this is
that
mission
is
outcome. Madam Anupriya, Annapurna ji, we have found a president has established a mission, many missions. One of the most important one is mission outcome. So we will have sustainable outcome in this deliberation. Your gracious presence and very exciting, illuminating, mind-boggling presentations which you have made. It will open up many avenues for MIT as well as other institutions to launch many initiatives. So that is why the mission outcome is very important, and we will show that outcome. We'll keep you informed. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
Just the most original idea which came to my mind 2 days back. As I know, you always know how to make India a global superpower. This is my obsession. This is my pagalpan hai. Yesterday, I make a project. Founder President Swami, SWAMI. Swami means strategic warriors at mission. Strategic warriors at Mission India. Strategic warriors at Mission India, which incorporates. I will not openly to make India global superpower. Swami, strategic warriors at Mission India, but the hidden message is to make India a global superpower. So I've not opened it, or many people may not like that India becomes a global superpower. But my dear students, in today's geopolitics scenario, we have to be very strong in all these areas, in military, economic, law, food, sustainable gold, because the world scenario is changing. Tomorrow there can be a war. Tomorrow China can attack, and Russia and America will say we are neutral. What you will do? Only my warriors will do. Dr. Murthy, this is very much being worried by all, because China may utilize this opportunity, take lesson from Ukraine and Russia, and say that Arunachal Pradesh, LOE, I should try to grab. So I think we have to be, all my students, my faculty, we have to really equip ourselves for any adverse, any claim from adversity. So my dear student, I'm proud of you. And Dr. V.K. Modi is a great leader with great faculty members. I know everything about every institution. So all your faculty members, I'm proud of them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Founder President,
Thank
for
you, sir.
your. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you.
Annapurna ji, namaskar.
Thank you so much, sir.
Forward
Thank
to interacting further.
Yeah, Dr. Sunain.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. It was a matter of great jubilance and honor that Founder President, sir, has graced our session today. And he's been there since the beginning of this session. Now, we move towards the release of our e-souvenir of AMIFOST 2022.
Send it to all the participants, including our chief guest and guest of honor. Monica?
Yes, sir, definitely. We'll be
Soft
sending
copy
the
you
soft
can send.
copies. Yes, sir. We'll be
Yes.
sending the soft copies to everyone, every participant and every delegate. Yes, sir.
Sir, this time's presentation, it is coming in Scopus Index Journal. We have tied up with the Frontier, and this souvenir will come in ISBN number. We have made agreement with the publisher.
Great, great. How many books you have written, V.K. Modi? How many books you have written already?
Sir, 3.
Okay, I know I have all your books on my table.
Sure, sir. It will come. Sir.
Great, 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 great. Great.
Sir, Suhana is our sponsorer.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, he has taken our some 4 technologies also.
okay, okay,
So on 6th April, we are demonstrating.
okay. Great.
I want to tell the viewers, Amity was adjudged as the topmost academic institution in the country for having filed maximum number of patents. Today, the number of patents filed is 1,670 patents. Many of them are getting granted, commercialized. What Dr. Modi just now mentioned, 4 of the food technology, just 2021, we have transferred to Suhana industry, and many more he has transferred. This is the recent one which he has mentioned.
Great.
Thank you everyone. Now we move towards the last session of the last actually vote of thanks of the session, and I request Dr. Monica Thakur to offer her vote of thanks.
Very good afternoon to everyone. I am honored to present the vote of thanks for the inaugural session of the 3-day international 5th AMIFOST 2022 on food sustainability, challenges and opportunities for future. First, let me take opportunity to thank Honorable Founder President Sir Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan and for sparing his valuable time and for giving his blessings and motivation for organizing this conference. A special thanks to Honorable Chancellor Sir Dr. Atul Chauhan for giving his blessings and again motivation for this conference. I would also like to thank Honorable Chief Guest Dr. Shridevi Annapurna Singh Ma'am and keynote speaker Dr. Crovato for sparing their time for addressing the conference. Their knowledge they shared is invaluable and will surely benefit the participants. I would also like to show my gratitude towards our dynamic Vice Chancellor, respected Dr. Balvinder Shukla Ma'am, for her advice and guidance at all stages. Respected Dr. Silvamurthy sir for his support and Dr. Nutan Kaushik ma'am for her suggestion during organizing this conference. We are overwhelmed by the response of the conference from all over the world, from several countries such as United States, Singapore, Poland, Italy, Turkey, Nigeria, China, Spain, and almost from all leading universities of the country. We are also having 5 knowledge partners this time. We have tie-up with the 5 different Scopus journals. We wish all the good experience and some takeaway from this conference, definitely. Today, we all are having 3 technical sessions and offline poster session in the afternoon. Now we'll meet in the technical session, which will soon start. So thank you and all. And again, from inner core of the heart, we again thank you, Founder President Sir, Dr. Shridevi Ma'am, Silvamurthy sir and Nutan Kaushik ma'am and director sir for everything, for every motivation to the AIFT family. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Sometimes the students to have a lunch. So maybe because this is delayed, so maybe you can plan a little later start because they should have hurried lunch before.
So we'll give a 5-minute break, and then because the next speakers are also lined in the session, so
Right.
we'll be starting after 5 minutes. Yes. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
How hard they are. They are giving only 5 minutes break for lunch. Doesn't matter. You know it better. You know it better. Thank you.
We'll make up, sir. By the end of the day, we'll make up everything, sir.
Okay. Great. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Founder President.
Thank you, sir.